Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for January 5th, 2016. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss, with your market outlook for the current session. Last afternoon, when I last left you here, what we talked about was a pullback to 1991s, offering a potential retest buy opportunity for those bulls that came in and defended the 1981s. We talked about 1981s being the best buy point on the chart given the CLVN, the composite low volume node here, 1981s, and price got into 1980 quarter before bouncing and returning about 30 handles. In overnight trading, prices pulled back, and I talked about 1991s being a zone where we could see a retest buy opportunity for a shot at seeing a continuation across the range into 2072. So far, that seems to be the case in overnight trading as 92s have held. I would say pullbacks to that zone could offer continued buying opportunities. Right now, it appears that bears are defending 2018s, which has been the case previously for at least a session before it finally went bid and a short squeeze ensued on the previous rotation. So we could be looking at a day that just kind of holds after a huge range session, and an inside day could continue to form. If we take a look at crude oil now, here's crude oil in a daily time frame. Obviously, we continue to hold within a very narrow range here. 36.88 is composite VPOC, and price continues to chop around composite VPOC at this time. One thing about this is obviously in the previous session, crude oil tested prices above the previous week's high at 38.09, and that was quickly offered, and price closed back below the previous week's close. That is a signal of further weakness to come. And I've mentioned before, given the current downtrending market, the most likely scenario is for bears to continue to defend pullbacks for a shot at new lows ahead. At this time, price continues to chop within this HVN on these lows, and right now that's not offering a lot of edge for you traders looking to be active in that range. It's better to trade the edges of the range at the moment or wait on the sidelines until expansion occurs. Once expansion occurs, we could see significant movement in the direction of the break. Let's take a look at gold now. Gold in the daily time frame also shows that prices are holding within a very clear range. This range very similar to that of the crude oil range, where price is just chopping around this HVN here, which is composite VPOC at 1070 half. And all of this chop around there implies acceptance within the range. There's fair two-sided trade going on, and when that occurs, there's not real edge trading in that zone. You have to wait and fade the edges. So right now, the best zone would be to fade any tests at 1088 or any tests down here at 1045. Those are the edges to fade for returns to the opposite end of the range. Until then, it's best to hold on the sidelines and wait for expansion. Once we see expansion, it could be significant. We also have the key range from 1077.90 up to 1069.70. That key range is going to help us with the expansion targets once that expansion occurs. Lastly, let's take a look at the NQ. Here's the NQ in a daily time frame. Previously, I talked about bulls wanting to defend a rotation into 44.49 and that LVN. Prices got just below that zone before they finally returned higher. And then last afternoon, I talked about a retest of 44.71s, offering an opportunity for a retest entry for bulls. Responsive bulls that came in and defended that first push have been rewarded, and then now the pullbacks are offering a retest for additional entries for a shot at seeing a continuation back toward 4700. So right now, this is the area to continue to defend if you're a bull for a shot at seeing a return back higher throughout the course of the week. Again, this LVN is very strong here. Bulls should continue to defend that zone. Eventually, we're going to see expansion from this larger trading range, but until that occurs, look for further trading range behavior to be the likely course of action. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.